Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. We are here, finally joined by the one and only voice of Sombra, Carolina Ravassa. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and you said my name perfectly. Thank
Ah,
you.
perfectamente.
See,
Yes. So I, wait. Well, do you actually speak Spanish?
yeah. Oh, Sombra speaks
Oh,
Spanish.
of course, of course.
¿Qué onda? De
I don't know. I
pesos.
can't really, the accent. I can't. Didn't know if it was just made up or.
No, I am perfectly fluent in Espanol. Yeah. Yep.
Well, should we continue the interview in Spanish then?
If you want,
Oh,
let's do it.
just
You're like, no.
no. No. I took 4 years of Spanish, so the accents and whatnot for the most part can understand.
I mean,
Obviously,
you
if you
better
don't,
know some Spanish
have,
because Sombra has some Spanish voice
oh, of
lines.
course she does, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, if she, or I took the 4 years, blah blah blah. Don't use it, you kind of lose it. So, been doing
Right.
some Duolingo to kind of practicar mi español. But
Well, you have a good accent, so that's a start. Most people don't have the accent
como
that good.
te llamas and all that
Como
stuff.
te llamas and the
Yes,
tortillas.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Um, can I ask? I know
You
you're
can ask me
introducing
a
me.
question.
Yeah. Why did you choose Sombra? What drew you to her to play her incessantly?
So there was the 6 month build-up prior to Somber's release, where there was the hype building around her. I don't know if you knew about all of that hype that was
Nope.
happening.
None of it.
It was
None of
a, it
it.
was a very long, and they kind of drug along with it. But of course, I kept on building the hype with it. I'm also very drawn to the new stuff, um, and also off meta. If I throw any gamer lingo, just stop me. Just tell me if I'm too far. Say what the
I
heck does that
have
mean?
been brushing up on my skills, so I know what meta is.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so in every game and anything, there's a meta, which is the norm to play the game, to do whatever. Um, and so I tend to lean towards off meta heroes or playstyles or whatever in every game I've played.
Okay.
Somber was kind of that off meta hero that brought interesting, but also her skills or her abilities and whatnot are very self dependent, that you don't necessarily have to rely on your team, but then you have to be really team reliant later on,
Yeah.
when you apagando las luces. But before, most of her kit, like you can survive alone, but you have to work with your team. So
Okay.
all of that together, and then she's just super fun to play. She's super fast paced. There's a lot of things going on. You have to track a lot of things, from different abilities and ults and stuff in
Yeah.
the game of what's going on. So, and she's a badass and invisible, and she she doesn't really, she kind of sort of has friends, but she's like, no, keep it at arm's reach.
Totally, totally. So
Whatever.
are you still playing her a lot, or have you switched to?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. She
Well,
actually,
you've tried Hammond and Brigitte.
yes. I've played. So Brigitte, she's kind of on the boring side for me.
Okay.
As she is a new hero, but yeah, there's the like aspect of the solo being able to do your own thing, but then also working with your team.
Yeah.
That Sombra just like fills that void. But the main heroes that I play: Sombra, May. I've done a lot of Hammond, um, the Aunt Anna, and Zarya, Widowmaker, and then some Doomfist in there. But yeah, Brigitte, Orisa of the new heroes, I haven't really played a ton. Moira, I've played a fair amount of.
Okay.
Um,
How many hours a day do you play?
I'm supposed to be interviewing you.
I know, but I'm so curious. Like, it's
so
fascinating to me that you do this.
so my hours a day, I usually do like 6 to 7 ish hours, 5 days a week or so. So it's
That's
like a
a full-time
job.
job.
It is. It
Holy
is.
cow. Okay. Well,
Um,
congrats on your Twitch channel, and the fact that you're doing this full time is awesome. That's so huge.
it
Super
it
cool.
it has been a life changing journey so far, and I hope it continues into having fun with
Absolutely.
Sombra and beyond, whatever
Yeah,
happens in the
yeah.
future. Um, So I saw you play Overwatch a little bit. What tell me about that experience.
Ah, this is so dramatic. Dude, were you just cringing and going, what the?
There was some moments. Yeah, there's definitely
Probably the whole time. It was a very painful 3 hours. Um, Listen, this is what I set out to do with Brian, my friend. I just said, you know, I'm not a gamer and I'm not going to become one. And yes, I could spend some hours training as Sombra, which I might do with you in the future, Fitzyhere. But he's like, what? Um, but I'm so busy doing all these things and flying to cons to meet people and auditioning for things and working on other video games. And I was like, I don't have the time to train for this, but I want to do it because it seems fun and crazy and like people have been asking for it, so why not?
absolutely.
So we literally just got there, both super novices, super virgin Overwatch players, and just jumped in to see how ridiculous we could be. And we knew it was going to be more about what stupid things we said, and people were like, "Oh my God, they're drunk." No, guys, we did like a few shots of tequila that were, I wasn't like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" But we thought it could be fun. Like if somebody kills somebody, we gotta, celebrate. So that was the point. But yeah, no, I'm not good at this hand-eye coordination thing, and I was just kind of hitting a ton of buttons, hoping for the best. But there was no skill, absolutely no game, like no specific. Okay, this is what our team's gonna do. Like I wouldn't even understand that. It moves so fast. That's where I feel like a total grandma. Like, what are these buttons and what do they do? It's just half the time I'm like, oh my God, who killed who and how did it happen?
Right.
So I don't know how you guys are so fast. It's insane.
Well, and with, video games have become more and more of a you're kind of just brought up with them. They've been more of the norm, whereas not to say that there's necessarily a generational gap, but as people spend more and more time on the internet or whatever is the newest technology, they're always going to get, they're going to be better at that because they've only known that that existed their entire life. Whereas it like
Exactly.
showing up, like, yeah. Did you do the training at least before you started? There's
Yes,
like, okay,
I trained as soldier,
okay,
um, which was fun and cool, but like still, I mean, that was not enough for me to really understand what the hell would go on playing with other people. You know
right.
what I mean? It was just, yeah. And you know what it was too? I played at BlizzCon when Sombra came out with a friend, and oh, that was worse. I mean, I kept walking into a wall, but like 7 times, and I didn't realize he could see me. I thought I was in my own game. I didn't understand anything about anything. And he goes, "Caro, what are you doing? Why do you keep walking into that wall?" And I go, oh, "You seen
You're
me?" He's
watching
like,
me?
"Yes." But I didn't realize how to freaking move. I didn't know anything. So, and then I was like, "Oh, a cliff. I wonder if I can fly." And I literally jumped off because first of all, I'd never played Overwatch. Second of all, I didn't really understand my powers, even though I had recorded Apagando las Luces and all that stuff.
Right.
They had kind of explained, yeah, you have an electromagnetic pulse. Yeah, you have invisibility, but they didn't say when and how and where. So I was just like discovering this world. And so I was pathetic. And this time when I played again, I was fascinated watching the graphics too. So I got very distracted, like, whoa, that diva just died. And then like when another Sombra was killed, her body just bent in half, and I was kind of like, this is freaky. So I think I was fascinated just watching this Greek world we're set in. And I don't know, I think I just hadn't really experienced anything. So, anybody who watched that Twitch thing was probably horrified, but I was also just discovering everything for the first time,
Right.
basically.
Well, and there's also an element to hearing yourself and people that you've talked to that are in the game that are saying these things that, I've definitely spent my fair amount of time listening to you, but I can't imagine my like hearing myself in a game being repeatedly talked to or talking
True.
to me. Um,
I think if Sombra spoke just like I do now, then I would be a little more weirded out. But the fact that I kind of put on a voice and an accent
right.
distances her just a little bit from me. But yes, you're absolutely right. And I say these lines at conventions so many times for people that, yeah, they kind of live in me.
Right. So speaking of lines then, what's your favorite Somber voice line?
Oh my God, there are many, and it varies depending on stuff. But I know who's been naughty.
That was a
Um,
newer one last Christmas, I think.
yep, yep. I love mess with the best and die like the rest. There's a lot. So many targets, so little time. Oh, pobrecito. I like those. I like. I mean, hack the planet, obviously. Hack the planet. What are your favorite lines? Or what do you?
Um, my favorite one, according or what I say is my favorite, and it is because, and part of it is because it gets played when you get like 3 kills in a row, where it's like, all right, you're kicking ass, and it's I'm gonna mess it up, I'm gonna butcher it. It's the Juarez one, but it's
Oh, me
uh
hace lo que
the
viento a
Mayas.
Juan.
Yes, me hace lo que el viento a Juarez. Yes,
Look at you. I
yeah.
love it. Good
That one, and
job.
then the what is the other one that I get? There's another one where you get like 3 kills, and it's like, yep, I heard the Juarez were doing good, and it's the
Is it another Spanish one or?
yeah, it's another Spanish one. It's
Camarón que se duerme, se lo lleva la corriente.
yes, that's it, that's it.
Yeah.
I could
I
have
know it's
practiced these.
frustrating.
I was like, I'm gonna mess them up.
No, but you're doing really good. Most people can't even say apagando las luces. So, the whole avocado is
Right,
useless.
right. Propaganda's
This,
useless.
yeah. I've been writing that on posters as well, just for kicks. Yeah.
Oh, when you like sign the at conventions and whatnot, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, awesome. Um, so what other heroes did you play while you were? I guess
I think,
either any hero you've played so far.
oh God, I mean, I think I chose Zarya at one point. Uh, no, the funny thing was Brian. So have you played Detroit Become Human?
I have not. I don't have
Okay.
the
It's
consoles.
fine, it's fine. But my friend Brian plays Connor, the main guy, and so he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna choose a character that looks kind of like Connor. Oh, how about this guy with the pink hair?" And I'm like, that's Zarya." So that was really funny. But I think I played Zarya, and I don't know. I gotta rewatch that Twitch. I didn't watch it. I just kind of was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be embarrassing." But I chose a few different ones, and then I went back to Sombra because I felt I just need to play Sombra. But do you think I understood what I was doing with them? Absolutely not. So it doesn't even matter, you know?
So Sombra's definitely a one of the most difficult heroes in the game. So don't feel bad on that regard of like feeling like you have to. You felt like you couldn't do a lot of stuff because she's, if not the most complicated, she's in like the top three of just like
Yeah.
mechanically playing her. The translocator itself is its own thing of like you just throw it somewhere and then you just teleport to it, but you have to remember where that's at, and then all that stuff plus the shooting part, you don't do a lot of damage, so it doesn't feel like you're doing a lot unless your aim is
Thank
really
you. Because I
good.
was like, boom, 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 and nothing was happening.
So another thing that I might have watched the VOD. You tended to click a lot. You click, click, click. So on Sombra, you can actually hold down the left click, and it will repeatedly shoot. Um, so she has 60 bullets, which you can get through in about
See, I
one.
didn't even know that. I have 60 bullets.
So you can get through
Okay.
it in about I think it's 1.5 to 2 seconds. It was taking you about 10 to unload the full clip. So your damage potential is not there. But what first
Oh my
time
God.
you got to
Love
work
it.
on it. But yeah, the I think that, and then I think you played some May, which I also play a fair amount of May. Again, her left click is you want to hold it down. The hold, just hold it.
Oh God, I feel like I'm getting acting notes from Kate Blanchett. Like you're like the Sombra, expert, and you're like, so
You were
you
doing great. You were
did fine for all of 1 second, and then it all went downhill from there. But we'll talk about it. Oh, Jesus, how embarrassing. I mean, I really don't care because thank God I'm a voice actress and an actor and I don't need to live off of gaming. So, I'm not really worried, but okay, so that's good to know. Um, See, I was dropping the translocator at the beginning and thinking, okay, I'll come back to it. And then I'd get carried away with other things and I'd forget I had dropped the translocator. So, translocating. I like that one too.
I might need this later.
Anyways, huh?
I might need this later.
I know.
Oh.
I'm gonna get this later. And then also see you later. Did you miss me?
What about the?
Anyways,
How do you feel about Somber's banter with the other heroes? One.
oh, I absolutely love it. Absolutely. I think that uh, Carolina, personally, I love making fun of my loved ones. Oh, God, my poor mom. She always goes, Carolina, you make so much fun of me, and I'm like, Mom, it's because I love you. Like I'll imitate them, or uh, I'll do a voice for them. Like my sister says, I make her sound like a chipmunk, and she doesn't sound like that. But it's kind of like my version of it, and so I know that Sombra, and I think that's what I connected to is just this idea that I'm always going to poke fun, even if I love you. You know, it's not just to my enemies. So I like that she finds ways to make fun of Gabe and McCree. I mean, Tracer. She makes fun of Tracer. She finds her kind of annoying. So yeah, I think that I think Michael has done a really good job at writing my interactions. There's some coming up that I'm wicked excited for, but I can't tell you about.
Ah. All right.
Yeah.
Don't get me too excited.
I hadn't record. So the first chunk of lines I recorded, we did them all at once before Sombra came out, and then I think I did one session with them after. And I still was like understanding the game and stuff. So now that I really understand the characters and what goes on, and I didn't know that we had all these character interactions that weren't part of the, like I didn't understand all these things, even though I knew I was making fun of Genji, calling him Sparrow or whatever. Now that I really understand it, when we go back into the booth, like I know who's who. I know what's happening, and it's really exciting because now I'm like, oh, this is coming, cool. So in that sense, I feel like now I really enjoy it more because I understand her and I understand them, and it's cool.
Have you watched? I mean, obviously you were in Infiltration. Have you watched all of the other shorts that has
Yeah,
been?
I just watched Divas. I thought it was super cute. They do such a good job with the graphics and just dropping more backstory. I think is beautiful. I think we all want more backstory because that's also what enamors all of you guys of our characters. So
I think something interesting that Blizzard has done with it is while so there's not really a story for the game.
right,
They've got the plot of there's Overwatch, there's Blackwatch, there's Talon, and all these different features or whatever entities of people, and they've kind of created this story through not only the shorts, but they've got comics, even the interactions and voice lines in game where the characters talk to each other. Um, I don't think I've seen another game that doesn't have a story that they can't really that they've created this story through the different sources
yeah,
instead of all just one.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I think they're really smart too with the comics. It's catering to what you like. So I meet a lot of cosplayers and I ask, have you played Diva? If they're cosplaying Diva, and they're like, no, I love the lore. And so they've read all the comics and watched all the shorts, but not played. And I think that's really cool because it's just involving people that's not through gameplay. And it's actually really smart, including myself. Like I love the game because I know these backstories and these shorts are beautiful, even though I don't play.
right. Um, so during creating the voice lines for Sombra, were there any that you made yourself, maybe either by accident or on purpose? Of like, they gave you a certain line and then you kind of made it your own.
I mean, I think I've never changed actual words. I think maybe once I was like, "Oh, this sounds weird," or maybe this in Mexican Spanish. Actually, yeah, there was there. Let's start again. I didn't change any words. But I made them my own because I gave them the inflection that I wanted. And um, Michael's so cute. He goes, sometimes now after we recorded a few sessions, he's like, every time I'd write new stuff, I think I'd know, oh, this is how Carolina's going to say it. And then I'd walk in and we usually do 3 takes of each. And they'll usually find one they like within those 3. If not, we'll do it again. But Michael would be like, yeah, I know how Carolina's going to say this. And then I'd give him another take and he's like, oh my God, that's even better. So like, obviously we make it our own because we give it this intonation or cadence or whatever that is different. So far, I have not invented a line per se. I have been suggesting lines because I have ideas for future lines, but I do know, I mean, I give this example all the time. I do know May's sorry, sorry, sorry was actually her apologizing in
Right,
the
right.
booth. She thought her English wasn't that good, which I think is just so her, you know. Um, and so that and they kept that one, but for the most part, or Lucio, his little chillin' rap, I think that was all him, you know. But I have not had the pleasure of making up my own yet.
Well, you'll just
So
have to say "lo siento, lo siento." No,
yeah, right.
just three
Sombra would
times,
never say lo siento. Are you kidding?
unless she killed you.
That's true. That's true.
Um, so you play the voice of Sombra. What are some factors in your life or personality that you have as Carolina that would tie to Sombra of similarities or differences?
Well, I've also, I feel like I repeat myself a lot because I do other interviews or we do a lot of panels, but not everybody watches them all. So it might be new to some people, but I've said this before too. I used to go into my agency in New York, Abrams, and I'd audition for stuff with the sound engineer there. And he's a great guy and super great voice director. And I'd audition for a bunch of commercials. And usually for commercial stuff, I kind of have this dry read and a little bit like, not sarcastic, but I guess dry is the word. And he'd go, yeah, yeah, I love how you do that dry thing, Carolina. And I one day I said, but I'm not booking commercials, so clearly something's wrong, you know? Because commercials are like, come and buy this stupid product, you know? And I have a deeper voice for a woman, and so sometimes I think commercials are up here and they're super bouncy, and then all of a sudden this dry read that I'd been doing for years worked for Sombra, like I'm very lovable and I'm very, I love to give love, especially to the fans, but I can be very dry and sarcastic with my sense of humor. And I feel like naturally that came through with Sombra because I'm like, oh, I got her. I get it, you know? So, so that was cool because I just clicked with her on that, and I was able to use my lower register for her, which is great because not often do you get to just talk so low because I have a low voice, and luckily Sombra works down there, so I don't have to warm up too much when I do her
Mm-hmm.
because she just lives down here.
So just your normal range of voice. You don't have to, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, and with a little bit of an accent, which I enjoy.
absolutely. So you're Spanglo-Saxon. So tell me
Yeah.
about your upbringing and all of that, and where you came from, and how all of this, I guess, just your childhood of how you got into voice acting. Just a quick
Yeah,
summary.
I like to say that I was a hyperactive child, and because of that, my mom said, "Oh, she should audition for this musical at school." I was 5, and I just remember that first audition. I was so excited. I jumped up and I auditioned, and I even got the lyrics wrong, but I didn't care. I was just so psyched to get up there and do something. And sure enough, I got that little role. It was The Sound of Music. I played Gretel, the youngest girl. And that was my first experience of being on stage, and I got to act with the big people in high school, and I absolutely loved it. So that was kind of the beginning of me wanting to do theater every year at school, not professionally. But then I realized I think this is the only thing that I'm good at, or that I really enjoy. So I knew I wanted to study that in college. But I did grow up biculturally. One of my grandmas is American, another grandfather's from Spain, and then we grew up in Colombia. So I grew up speaking English and Spanish, and this dark hair is my older age, but I grew up as a very, very, very blonde kid. I looked like a Danish little boy because I had this bowl cut and it was like neon yellow or white,
Wow.
And so people thought I was Scandinavian or American because in Colombia they didn't know any better. So I grew up as a Hispanglo-Saxon, if you will, speaking both languages and not really being Colombian enough, but not really being American enough. And so I felt it growing up, and I also felt it in college a little bit. But then I really saw it when I started auditioning professionally in New York City, where I was going in for auditions because she was Hispanic. But then, like the recurring notes from casting to my manager was, oh, she's too white to play Latina, but she did a great job. Or, oh, she was amazing. Her Spanish was perfect, but she just didn't look Latina enough. And after a while, I was like, like
Right.
beep, 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 beep. So I started dyeing my hair, and they were like, go tanning, and I was like, but that's not going to change my facial features. I could be darker, but I don't look what
More
they think is Mexican or Puerto Rican.
more ethnic, more
More
ethnic.
ethnic. Exactly. And that, I mean, oh, thank you. That dream sequence, it happened a lot where it was just my last episode of the first season, I'm crying down the streets and I got mascara down my face and I kind of give up and I pretend I turn into a homeless person. But I do remember one day crying on 6th Avenue and 23rd Street because I had just gone in for a Spike Lee project as a Brazilian and I thought I had killed it. And then my manager said, "Oh, they just went for someone who looked more Brazilian." And I was just like, I don't know what I am anymore. And it's just like, I wanted to just throw myself into the garbage can because I had just dyed my hair and they told her she looks very Italian. And I was like, what is this stupid business? So that was kind of the beginning of me feeling like I needed to tell my story via web series. This is a
Mm-hmm.
really long answer. I'm sorry. But then it became this sketch comedy thing that I was like, you know what? I got to poke fun at it because it's not dramatic. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I really enjoyed it. And that was kind of the beginning of it all. And me creating characters and me finding out that I loved sketch comedy and that I loved to edit. Very basic editing, but I was like, oh, I like this video making thing.
Um, if you guys haven't seen her YouTube, it's his Spanglish Saxon. It's a great little short of maybe not relatable, but you can understand where the problems come from.
Well, they're all based on true stories, so I didn't make anything up.
Right.
Um, But also, if you haven't check it out because now I've posted a lot of videos with other voice actors doing their lines or my lines or, exposing them to the internet, like Zarya and Junkrat. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot you found Junkrat. So,
I do.
when you went around traveling, what brought you to find all the voice actors and go out on these journeys and travel to France to find?
Hey, everyone thinks that I just said, I need to go find Widowmaker. I'm going to hop on a plane. Um, well, it started because Anjali and we've become very, very good friends. But the first coffee date we ever had, I was in LA and we said, let's meet up. And then at the end of our coffee date, we said, let's take a picture and post it. And then we thought, oh, let's do a video. And so, but we didn't know what to do in the video. And then I said, let's do some voice lines. And then, oh my God, let's switch each other's accents. And so we tried and it was terrible, but we laughed hysterically. And it's all of like 40 seconds. And we posted that on each of our YouTube channels because she has her I Am Fun Size and I have my Hispanglo. And it kind of worked with my subject matter, accents, ethnicities, whatever. And then all of a sudden that video went crazy. And I was like, oh, they like this. Let's do more of it. And because the response was really positive. So I thought, cool, let's keep making these for the fans. And then I knew that Lucy Pohl lived in New York. So I reached out to her. And that was the second video I did. And that one went crazy. And I'm like, oh, this is a thing. Okay, cool. Like, yay. So it turned out that I was doing a cool trip with my sisters to France to spend some quality time with my aunt. So it was the four of us ladies. Okay, and my guy cousin, but we kind of left him off in the corner. And we were gonna just hang out in Paris for 4 days as a cool family trip. And I knew, Chloe lived there. So I reached out to her. And then it just became this shtick. While I was with my family, I'm like, oh, here, film me. We're at the Empire State, at the Eiffel Tower. And so I pretended like I was undercover searching for her. And then it became this fun thing that I shot with my family. And then at the end, I'm like, okay, Chloe, you're going to think I'm a stalker and a weirdo, but I did all this pre-video stuff. And now I found you. And, oh, we had found Farah before. And we turned it into this news broadcast, because she was funny. She hadn't been on Twitter. And at one point when Michael said, here's Farah, everyone's like, where have you been? And she goes, apparently I've been living under a rock. So we turned it into this thing like searching for Farah, high and low. And we're all actors, so we liked being hams and being ridiculous. And Lucy Pohl was so down for doing this news broadcast in a million languages with me. And it was just fun. It was really just ridiculous fun while we were having lunch. You know what I mean? It wasn't, and with our iPhones. So it just kind of happened by mistake, and then it became a thing. And so I'm like, okay, now I'll meet Brigitte this weekend, and we'll do something fun.
You're meeting Brigitte this weekend?
I am. It's Sacramento.
Ah,
Yes.
Sacramento. Well, that'll be who's or what questions are you gonna ask her, or what lines is she gonna say?
I never think about it before, but I know that ultimates are important to you guys, so we have to get those there. And then I guess the more popular ones. But I want to. She's the only one who was playing Overwatch before she started voicing on it. So I'm really curious as to how. I mean, I think she just had a little. Overwatch did a video of like behind the scenes or something,
Mhm.
and it was cute that she was like, I used to play, and so now it's crazy that I'm on it. So I think that's a really special thing about what she does. So yeah, I don't know what I'll ask her. We'll see. Usually we just improv. We just go. Yeah.
What is there any of the voice actors or anyone that you want to find that you haven't been able to find?
I haven't been able to find Doomfist.
Doomfist.
Well, he lives in New York, but he's busy. The thing is, we're all actors and we have crazy schedules and
Right.
we're shooting a film or we're shooting TV shows or working nonstop on voice stuff. So he's busy. And I did get to watch Moira on stage in London. I was between two conventions in Europe and I went to see my sister and she was like, "Hey, I got tickets for this show." And it turns out it was the show that Genevieve O'Reilly was on. And so I got to see her on stage, but I didn't meet her. So, I mean, I guess those two would be awesome to have fun with. But
Any of the new characters, because you
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
are a new character, even though it's almost been 2 years at this point.
I know, right?
Um,
That's crazy.
Time flies when you're having fun. So you got the part of Sombra. What after Sombra, or what did you have before Sombra, and what after that is, how has Sombra changed your career as a voice actress?
Oh my God, it's been a total 180. I mean, I think I always knew I loved voice work and I used to book a lot of commercial work in New York. Uh, but I hadn't done any really fun characters. I mean, I was in GTA 5 and that was great, but that had been 4 years ago before Sombra. So um, getting Sombra got me to start going to conventions. That got me to meeting other voice actors who lived in LA who were like, "Carolina, why aren't you in LA? This is where the work is." And I'm like, "Oh my God, why am I not out in LA?" So I moved from New York to LA actually precisely for that. And so I feel like I'm living this brand new life in LA. My agents here are amazing. They're sending me out for commercials, VOs, super cool animation projects that aren't just Hispanic, video games. So I feel like that whole world opened, and it's awesome because now I'm exploring a million more characters. I play with my voice all the time to find new stuff, and I've taken classes out here with super talented voice actors who also teach. So in that sense, like it's just a whole new world. But it gave me conventions. I knew Comic Con existed. I didn't realize there were conventions all over the world. So I've gotten to travel to so many countries and so many cities in the US and meet so many of you guys. And I think that's been a really special part that none of us knew was a part of this. I thought, okay, this is entertainment. People play games for fun. I didn't realize it could have such a positive impact on people who are disabled and so they play a lot because they're in a wheelchair and this is their form of entertainment and this is their form of meeting people all over the world, and therefore you kind of just see how it snowballs into, oh my God, I have friends, I have a social life. Yes, it's not in person, but I'm connecting with human beings because of this. So I feel like I end up crying a lot at conventions because so many people come with beautiful stories about how they feel Overwatch or a certain character inspired them or saved them because they were depressed. So I just feel like I mean, Overwatch has changed my life in so many ways, professionally, friends wise. Like I have new friends, Johnny Cruz. I mean, Anjali, obviously, the girls, Farah, Symmetra, Mercy, Widowmaker. They're lovely human beings, and it's like this new family that we have, and I've learned so much from them. And yeah, I mean, it's a million great things.
So when you went to these conventions, what one was your favorite overall? Just in the convention, you
Oh
said
my
I
God.
don't know how many you've been to. I've only really been to a couple gaming events, and I was really there for just the game of like playing the game
Right.
instead of going around to the different booths and seeing all the different. I haven't been to a Comic Con. So I guess what was your favorite one that you've been to?
I
And
think one of the first ones I attended was Australia Supernova with Anjali, and that was the first like super huge international trip with Sombra that I had done. It was I always wanted to go to Australia and I'd never been. Anj it was my birthday. Anj and I were high on life, and we just had the best 12 days, and we just Oh my God, we met Chris Hemsworth. There was so many good things, and I loved meeting the Australian fans. So I feel like that was a very special one in my heart because I realized, oh my God, Sombra is making this happen for us. I had only been to two smaller ones before that. So that one I'll always remember. But each one is different. I loved going to the Philippines, Argentina, some in the US. You know what? They're sounds I sound like a mother choosing a child. It's impossible because at each one you have a really cool interaction that you'll always remember. Florida SuperCon was a very special one because I'd never met so like the quantity of Latino gamers was the biggest there, and they love Sombra because she's the first Hispanic superhero that they feel represents them accurately. And so they were just so moved by it. And so I was too. So it was a lot of intense emotions there. So yeah, they're all very unique.
So you mentioned meeting Chris Hemsworth. Were you freaking out a little bit, or I guess what level of you
I
because
yeah,
you
I think I never thought that in my life I would meet somebody like him, or the more I travel to cons, I'm like, oh, we met Spider-Man. What? I didn't. That's crazy. But I think before we talked to him, we were nervous because Anja and I wanted to do this video with him. Once we started talking to him, he is just the sweetest, most generous, grounded human being. And then you realize, oh, we're all human and we're all actors and we're all here to make the best of this life. And so it was just really cool to get to do the video with him, and he was so game for it. And then we talked about him in Ghostbusters, the lady Ghostbusters. And so it was just like
oh yeah.
it was just like talking to a human. Yeah, it was just fun and nice. But I think that leading up to that, you don't know what a celebrity's going to be like. So you're like, oh, they might be like, oh, I don't do videos, or oh, no, that's stupid. But he was like, yeah, let's do it. What am I doing? Okay, you're wrestling Anjali. Like so each interaction is interesting. You never know how they're going to react.
Right. And I mean, I think anyone can relate to that where if they've met their idol, or not necessarily that you idolize Chris Hemsworth, but
Yeah, yeah.
even going into this interview, I'm like, what's she gonna say? Is gonna be like, is she gonna want to do voice lines? Is she gonna be like, yeah, we'll just kind of do this thing,
I'm over voice lines.
right?
No.
Right. So
Yeah.
you really don't know, and even I'm sure people come up to you in the booth and are like, is she gonna sign my thing? Is she just gonna be like, no, I'm done signing today. I'm above that. I don't have
Well,
time for
yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's really cool. And to even have him on, like, I'm sure he was there to kind of be on the same level of view of, we're doing this for the fans, and to just be like, you start to see yourself in these different roles, and what could the future hold. Speaking of the future, what could the future hold for yourself in any games, or any new movies or commercials, even, or anything that you can tell us
Um,
about?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I worked on a game called Just Cause 4. That's all I can say. So that's exciting because I didn't. Yeah, it just happened. When we book stuff now, I'm like, oh my God, more work, great. Uh, and I have also worked on two other video games that I cannot talk about. That was some of the motion capture pictures I was posting. So it's all super secretive, but super fun. And I learned a lot. We did some training, like some rifle training and some like cool sort of tactical things that I didn't know. So I'm learning on every job, which is super cool. A lot of screaming lines too. After that session, I was pretty tired. But I also worked on a new Cartoon Network show, voicing some little characters, and a Disney show, voicing a little character. So, I mean, again, I can't say what it is, but I'm excited that it's just been work. I did a horror film in Cuba 2 years ago, and it's coming out this Halloween. I don't know exactly where because I know it got distribution, but that means a bunch of things. So as soon as I know, I'll be sharing that. It's called Havana Darkness. I think it's going to be good. I haven't seen it, so I'm hoping for the best. And I'm still auditioning all the time. I audition tomorrow for two things at my agent's. So there's just always things coming up, and we're hoping to book them, and we don't book 98% of them. I like to tell voice actors that, like, it's still a hustle for us, even though I've got Sombra. I still have to prove myself to other projects and stuff. But it's a cool hustle, because it keeps you on your toes. And I'm like, the other day they asked us to invent an accent for something. So I just brought this thing forward, but it's not really Italian, but it's not also Persian. I don't know what it is, but it's something. So I kind of feel like I'm always using my imagination to, create characters. Ta-da! So that's that. And I'm doing a ton of cons. I'm doing 7 in a row, which is one too many, but
Just
I
one
just
too many.
well, it's exhausting. It's a lot of planes. It's a lot of jet lag. I just got back from Lubbock, Texas. I'm going to Sacramento this weekend, then Arkansas, then Sweden, then Madrid, then Belgium, and then New York. So I travel every weekend. That's why I don't have time to play games.
There's an hour here and there.
Dude, my brain is mush, and half the time I'm just tired of looking at screens. Like, I can't. That's why sometimes I just go off Twitter and don't look for a couple days. You just have to let the eyes and brain rest. You know what I mean? So that's that.
What? So I make some random voices all the time that are just.
What are
They're
they?
not They're not necessarily. I've got like I've got the British accent. It's kind of the proper. Whatever it is.
You
And
talk like this as you're twitching.
it's usually when I'm warming up and starting to prepare the stream. And
Lovely.
and then I've got.
He just reminded me of the guy in Frasier, Nigel, Niles. Oh my God, what's
Uh,
his name?
I don't know if I know that
Look up
one.
Frasier and you'll see his
Oh,
friend or his
all right.
brother. Yeah.
All right, I'll look it up.
Yes.
But then I've got the different Russian accent type of stuff.
Russian. Yeah.
But then
I,
there's the accents that I don't know where that goes. They're just kind of, and then my chat starts hating on me for being like, that's not that accent. I'm like, I know it's not supposed to be this regional accent that I
it's
just kind
fine.
of
I'm
make it
making it
up.
up. Let me be. Exactly.
So you mentioned you kind of you mimic some of your family members. Do you find you mimic people that maybe you meet, and you're not necessarily trying to make offense to them? You just kind of, I find language interesting in that someone can be literally speaking something that you have no idea what they're saying and holding a full conversation. And language to me overall is just like super cool. So do you ever find yourself trying to mimic somebody either on purpose or rather, I guess, on accident? Um,
Well, so when I used to hang out with my friend from Lebanon, he would say stuff like, Carolina, that's ridiculous. And so I would say, oh, that is so ridiculous. And then I would say to him, dude, I'm not making fun of you. I'm trying to learn your accent.
right.
So I would say stuff like that. Or he's like, it's very simple. And I'm like, simple, simple. But he would say simple. So I would say simple. And so if they're friends, or in Australia, I let all the fans know, guys, if I say good on ya or good day, mate, or whatever, woulda, teleporter, translocator, I'm trying to learn your accent. So I would let them know I'm not making fun of you. Sometimes, though, as a kid, my friends had this lovely, lovely German friend, and she used to tell this story about how the woodchucks ate her strawberries. And she would go, and then all the woodchucks, they ate my strawberries. And I remember, God, I was 12 or something, 14, and I was like, I was calling my sister, who's Gabriella, and I'm like, Gabriella, come here. And my mom's eyes open up, like, what are you doing? And I was like, so it would happen that sometimes I would just fall into it, and I hope she didn't hear me, but that's how I started learning accents. You imitate, and that's how you learn them. So, yes, it happens sometimes. Now, as an adult, I'm more aware of it. And I try to be careful because some people think you're mocking them.
Right.
But in the acting world, I think if we have a director and they're British and they're like, all right, we ready? And I'll be like, rightio. And they're like, oh, very funny. But it's
Just
because,
lost my job.
yeah, well, right. But they usually know, oh, this is the shtick we do. We're voice actors,
Right.
So for the most part, I haven't gotten in trouble with it lately. As a kid, maybe.
So you make up all these different characters. What is your favorite one that you've made up? Besides
Well,
from Sombra.
I love one that is in my web series, and she's a Hispanic who talks like this, and like she's got really big lips and really big eyebrows, and like she's just very exaggerated in all her movements, and she talks with her hands. And I feel like when I improv as her, a lot of stuff comes out that Carolina would never say in her right mind, but when I click into her as this New Eureka like fabulosity, all of a sudden I'm another person. And so I do understand the power of improv, you know? Or like when I'm the Jewish grandmother and I'm talking like this, like I'll say stuff that Carolina would never think of. So I feel like I do like slipping into those. I recently auditioned for this thing where they wanted at least 5 of our sketch comedy characters in all of 2 minutes. That means you'll have less than 30 seconds for each character. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I started freaking out. And then I'm like, no, you just have to like start talking as them and you'll start improvising. And then all of a sudden I had my 2-minute monologue ready. And I think I came up with it in 10 minutes because I just like, you just kind of sink into them. So I don't know. It's, but I love a lot of them. I love the dudes I play. The guy with the unibrow, he does like this, you know. Yeah. And the guy with the golden teeth, I love him. But I feel like I turn into him with the teeth. I can't do it without the teeth. You know what I mean?
Really?
No, really, because it's got to be like, yo, what up, sis, blondie? But he's got like, if he doesn't have the grid, then it's the grill, the grid. What am I saying?
So do you have this this repertoire of clothing just in your wherever you're at? You just readily available to turn into these characters?
Now I do. I have them all in a box, and it's like each character is a Ziploc with the wig, the teeth, the whatever, the necklaces. I haven't pulled them out in a while, but I'm thinking about doing some more videos, so we'll see. But yeah, I have to keep them because it's their wardrobe. I can't be them without it.
They can't have different clothing. They can't change that.
Well, I mean, I could have changed their outfits, but like if I already found the sweatshirt that works for Johnny Mo, I'm not gonna like change up his outfit. They're just like cartoons; they're always in the same clothes, you know. It makes life easier for me too.
Right. So, future episodes. Any plan? So you said you might bring it back.
Yeah,
Who's coming back?
I think I really did get tired of the subject matter. Like I'm done. I told my story. I'm done with it. I don't need to keep telling these stories, but I love the characters. So I want to use them for one-off videos where all of them show up in a video and they talk about this or they give advice on that. And obviously it's like terrible advice. So I feel like I just want to do 2-minute videos where they're having fun and improving. I have a multiple personality disorder. But that's kind of what I feel like I want to do with them. I don't want to think too much about it. I want to enjoy and just cut them up together and put them out there. So we'll see. It's just I've been mad busy, so it's hard to find time to let these animals loose in my house.
Absolutely. All right, some rapid fire questions.
Uh-oh.
Favorite color?
Right now, mint green, like my chair.
Mint green. Favorite animal?
I like kitties.
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oof. I like mint chip.
You're all about the mint. All about the mint. Mint
Yeah,
chocolate.
that's weird. Yeah.
Mint chocolate chip.
Mint chocolate chip. Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi?
Neither. I don't drink soda.
What? Okay. So what? Coffee, tea?
Coffee. Hardcore. Tea when I need it, but coffee's like my morning thing. Ta-da.
Yeah. I'm not a coffee or tea person. I'm like a water and milk person. It's weird. Favorite fast food restaurant?
Milk.
Milk is delicious. Don't diss it.
I mean, if I had to choose, Chipotle, because that's kind of the only fast food I eat. If I eat fast food, I try to not eat fast food.
Alrighty. I'm gonna take a couple questions that we have from some of our audience.
Yeah, hello.
Let's see if I can find a couple.
You have to ask me the questions in a different accent. Each question in a different.
Oh gosh.
It doesn't matter if it's made up. I'm not gonna judge.
All right. So, if you were in the universe of the Avatar, what kind of bender would you be? Do you know what Avatar is?
No.
Avatar. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Right. Next question. Well, we'll kind of turn the question. What other universe would you like to be in, aside from Overwatch?
I think Sombra would really fit into Guardians of the Galaxy. There are a bunch of misfits that come together. And like I think she'd be friends with Rocket. I think Rocket would have a crush on her, but she'd be like, yo, get your paws off me. But they'd be buddies, you know what I mean?
I can see it. All right, here's my let's see. This is my tracer-ish impression.
Ooh.
uh, it's bad. Watch out. Let's see. Oh boy, gotta fall into character.
Because
Um,
they cheers love to fall into character.
yes, just love the cavalry's here. Um, what's your favorite skin in Overwatch?
My favorite skin in Overwatch is. That's not my tracer. I don't do a tracer. My favorite skin in the. I like the Tulum because of the. I like swimming and stuff, and I like all that. I also like her original skin. Very, very nice. Yes. I
I'm
want to
too.
hug you like big fuzzy Siberian bear.
I like it. I like it. I'm a classic fan as well. The classic skin.
Cool.
I think
Yes.
it fits really good. I also use the black and red one. It's called Noche.
You
Um,
like that one.
oh, that's yeah, it's like favorite by far.
Okay.
Just like the shadowy, but then you can see like the evil, but not because her eyes are red and all that. But
Yeah.
all right, do you know Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Let's
God, what
see.
house would I belong to? Oh, I thought that was the next question.
It is the question.
Shoot.
I'm just trying to think of what accents I want to do. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a Harry Potter accent.
Dumbledore or one of them. I don't know.
I can't fall into. I'm just going to go back to my British again.
Yes,
See
lovely.
what keeps
Yes, of
happening.
course. Mhm.
Um, if if you were admitted to Hogwarts, what house do you hope to be sorted into?
I mean, I think we all agree that Sombra belongs in Slytherin, right?
Oh,
Is that like the most? I think it's the most comparable to Talon. So yes,
are you saying all Slytherin are snake-like?
I
Not that
I would say that.
Sombra's. She's kind
Yeah.
of snake-like.
Are you kidding? Wicked snake-like.
Let's see. Oh, I did actually want to ask this. So during the recordings and whatnot, when they ask you to do like the fall, like someone falling, like the yelling or the coughing, or any of that, what is their like direction? What do they go for in those?
So usually they go, okay, so these are a few, like we start off with simple ones. You're lifting, pretend you're lifting a light sofa. So you go, ugh, huh. Okay, you're moving, or you're punching. Huh, huh, ah, hoo, hoo. Okay. Okay, you're running and you're panting. So sometimes I'll run in place, and then when they get more complicated, they're like, okay, so in this one, you're falling down a cliff, you hit a rock on the way down, and then at the end you die. And I go, oh my God. And they go, this is what it sounds like. And so they give me the example, literally because this guy has recorded so many, he knows how to do them. So he'll be like, and so, or you're being impaled at the end of your fall. And so you go, ah, you know. So we listen, and sometimes I would be like, oh, could you do that again? So he would do it again, and I would laugh hysterically because I knew I was going to make a fool out of myself. And then I would try and do it. For the most part, I think I only did them once or twice because we'd get them. Sometimes it's hard, and you just can't really get what they need, so you just keep doing it.
So what is the what is it that they say that's like, no, you need to be more, you need to die more, you need to like be.
Oh,
What is it?
sometimes they'll just say we need to take up the intensity from a 6 to a 10, or this fall is, you're hitting some stuff on the way down, but so we just need to understand, or when we're in battle, like sometimes I'd be screaming, they're like, no, like you're talking via your whatever, so you're just communicating, you're not screaming. So we would talk in terms of intensity. Usually though, when they would tell us how the sounds go, we could imitate them and we'd kind of get them, which was good. Um, but the hard ones were like, you're burning in a fire and then you die, or you're freezing and then you die. So you're like, you know. So it's just weird stuff. I don't know.
All right. Alrighty. Let me see if there's any more questions.
I hope people have been enjoying
We've
this. I'm not watching on Twitch, so
Oh, absolutely. We've got
do you post this afterwards so we can share the link?
absolutely. I if you will let me, I can post it to my YouTube.
Of
Of
course,
course.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Then it will be on there soon enough.
Hashtag me with all that stuff so I can reshare.
Will do. Will do. We'll take the last question. Will you be going to BlizzCon this year?
As of now, no. I I know that they usually try and take new voice actors every year for the panels and for fun stuff. So my guess is that they'll take new people that haven't been. I already was lucky enough to attend when Sombra was unveiled. So yeah, no, it's mostly up to Blizzard who they invite and who they take. It's not like we decide because there are mother companies, so it's a little bit different than the other conventions, the way that works.
All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much, Carolina, for
You're so
stopping
welcome.
by.
We're gonna have to do a little session where you teach me some stuff.
I will gladly do that.
Probably not in the next couple of weeks because I'm so slammed traveling. I'm traveling every single weekend, so it's a little insane. But let's figure it out for sure.
I would totally be down for that.
Yeah. Give me some favorite voice lines so we can wrap this up in a nice little bow.
What was the question?
Tell me some voice lines I should shout out to y'all's. Besides my ultimate, which we will get at the end.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if the chat. Do you want any specific voice lines?
Been here all along.
We want the fall.
Where's the funny playing fair?
They want the fall sound.
No, you guys are terrible. You're terrible.
Volvamos. One more time.
No way. No, I did it. You're done. Go play the game and you can hear me falling there.
Volvamos a la medianoche.
Volvamos a la medianoche.
Of course, they want boop.
I'll do that at the end, guys.
Okay, she'll do that at the end. All right. Juarez, one more time.
Me hace lo que el viento a Juárez. Camarón que se duerme, se lo lleva la corriente. De pelos. Me agarraste en curva.
Always great. Glitch in the system.
You're just a glitch in the system. Just squishing a bug.
I got one.
Yeah.
Relájate, I'm not going to kill you.
I love that one. Relájate, I'm not going to kill you. All right, babies. Thank you so much. Love you very much. Tag me on Twitter. Share your fan art with me. I love fan art. I love retweeting it. And I hope to meet you all at a con soon. And apagando las luces. Boop.